we're going to start off by paying respects to the legendary and wonderful rock and roll inventor, one of them at least, Little Richard. He helped to invent rock and roll, no matter what anyone says. Rest in peace to Little Richard, a legend and a wonderful record exec. Andre Harrell has passed away this week as well. So we want to start by paying our respects to them. Rest in peace and ashe to our ancestors now. Now we have some wonderful guests that we're going to be talking to today. So who we got? What's going on today, ladies?
We got Nema, Katt in the building.
All right. Now.
Yeah. Bring it in.
Wonderful comedian.
Yeah, she is funny. She's dope. What up, Nema?
What do you want me to do?
Hey,
Hi.
girl.
Hey. What's up, guys, ladies?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful.
How you been holding up with all of this craziness going on?
Girl, I'm doing my usual life. I work from home. I'm a housewife, so hey, Crystal.
Hey, boo. So that means you got that quarantine dick at home, girl.
Facts. That belongs
You being a housewife.
Uh-huh.
That belongs to me.
You making her some good meals up in the kitchen?
That's what I'm doing. Like, I had to pause dinner so that I can come speak to you ladies, and then, I'll get back to that. I cook. He cooks too, though. This is not what I do.
Oh, good.
Not my specialty.
What you cooking?
I'm making turkey and dressing with some sauteed spinach and carrots.
Are we invited?
Yeah, come. Bring your mask. Bring your gloves.
Oh, you saw that?
I'll bring some beer. Some of this. Girl, you're gonna get litty.
So how is this quarantine like affecting your comedy? Is it affecting it at all, or how is it going for you now? How is it different for you?
I think it's a great opportunity actually, because for me, I'm usually always on stage. I always get invited to do shows, but now I get to sit back and figure out what exactly I want to talk about, how to present it. I get to study a little more. And so, yeah, it's going great for me. And then I get exposure because right now, because comedians are performing online, you're getting exposed to a bigger audience because someone in New York wants to feature you on their online show, someone in California. So it's like you could be everywhere in one night. It's great. I love it. I don't know about everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
Yeah, streaming always is the move because you can reach so much more people than in person.
Fact.
Yeah, for sure.
So where is your main target audience? Like, is it LA? Is it New York? Is it Atlanta? Where do you prefer?
Oh, I prefer the Globe. No. But my main audience is on Instagram. It says it's Atlanta. So,
okay.
Yeah, my main audience is Atlanta, then Dallas, which is my hometown, then New York, then Chicago. I think those are my 4 top feeds.
Well, everybody says Atlanta has a bougie comedy audience, so I had to ask.
That's what they say?
Yes. They say we funny down here.
I've heard that Atlanta is easier. Hold on, sorry. It's in the refrigerator. We'll find it. Sorry. That's not what I've heard, that Atlanta's audience, because it's predominantly Black, that we have it easier because we just have really one culture to relate to. And so they say like Atlanta comedians get spoiled dealing with Atlanta audience versus somewhere like New York, you have a variety of cultures.
I never thought about it like that. Never in my life. Now I'm like, oh shit, do we have it that easy?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
And I think
how do you feel? Do you feel like it is easier, or how do you feel? How do you adapt?
I've performed in Chicago and I've performed in DC. I've performed for white audience, predominantly white audiences, and then Black audiences. I performed for quote unquote more hood, and then more professionals. And for me, they were all like the same. I used the exact same jokes. I switch up the tone and the contents of the delivery. Other than that, I use the same exact content and it's the same.
Oh, well, you a five?
I think Black people are harder though.
Period.
Period. So you do comedy too? One of the ladies do stand up?
Oh,
I mean,
no.
apparently I'm a fucking joke to these people, but nah.
Well, we
Shit,
naturally
y'all
have a
joke.
little comedic side, but as far as professionally, no.
Okay,
I
because
don't
that
have
was
it
funny as hell. What she just said. Apparently, I'm a joke to these.
No,
That was
Mango
funny.
funny as hell. Mango don't know how funny she is. She funny as hell though.
Yeah.
I'm not a stand-up type. You just gotta catch me. Like, that's all. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Man.
Okay.
Have the balls to go up like how you do. I don't got balls for that. I don't got shit to say to these people when I get up there. But when I'm
Do you
chilling,
get
I got a
real
lot.
nervous when you do go up there? Because I know that it takes a lot of encouragement to get up there.
It's a process. I don't know if I can describe it as being nervous, but just like anticipating. If that's better, I don't know if there's a difference. So
Butterflies.
you're excited.
So you're
excited.
anxious.
Yeah, you're excited, but I don't think nervous. I don't think not
Like, you don't get
but-
nervous poop. Like, you just
No,
excited.
I don't get any side effects.
Okay, good.
symptoms. I just get excited, like, okay, what's this about to be? How am I gonna, maneuver on stage? It's exciting more than nervous.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Good question. So in Atlanta, maybe the last 2 to 3 years, and that's really when I started my professional career over the last 2 years for sure. But I tried it 3 or 4 times in college.
Okay.
So, like ages ago.
Did
Do
you
have any
attend
comedians
a
that you would like to
HBCU
work
down
with?
here? I'm sorry. Did you attend a HBCU college? Is that why it's easier? Were you amongst other Black students, or did you attend another college down here and perform amongst other diverse students?
No, I mean, I'm just a regular old hood girl. I went to a Black high school, but I went to the University of Texas in Austin, which is a campus of 50,000 students where Black people are probably 1.5 to 3%.
Oh.
No, I went to a PWI is what we call it, predominantly white institution.
Okay, got you.
Do you have any comedians that you look forward to working with, like collabing with?
Yes, Chris Rock.
Oh yeah, legend.
He's funny.
Legendary.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
I met him I think it was like either the first night or the second night that I did a great set. Basically, it was literally my first or my second set in Atlanta. And Lil Rel, y'all know who Lil Rel is, right?
Yeah.
Get out. He invited me to stay. I was getting ready to leave out the club, and he was like, no, that was impressive. I want you to meet Chris Rock. And I was like, what? So I sat down with Chris Rock and had drinks with him. So for some reason, it just keeps coming into my spirit that I'm gonna get to work with Chris Rock. So that's what I'm like speaking into existence.
Oh,
Yes.
baby, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
So your favorite comedian, dead or alive, who is it?
Oh my God. Alive right now, I have so many, but I really, really, really love Daniel Tosh. And people are gonna be like, what? Now dead, Patrice O'Neal. So
Okay.
Why Tosh? You mean like Tosh? What's this show called? Tosh 2.0 or something?
yes,
Yeah. What do you like about him? Because I haven't really okay. With Tosh, everyone has mixed reviews. They either hate him and they're like, he is not funny, he is dry, he's a stick in the mud, or he's just hilarious. Like, what do you think is so funny about him? I want to know. I'm in between.
If you can offend me and make me laugh out loud, it's like, wow. And it's truthful. Like, how can you argue with that? It was funny, it's true, and I'm offended. You're making me feel all kind of things. It's kind of like how, like the baby boy effect is what I like to call it, when Yvette is like angry at Tyrese and she's yelling and she's punching and she's fighting and then she's orgasming the next second. Like, what? it's so dynamic. It's like, I'm so mad at you, but that is freaking hilarious. So that's why he's one of my favorite. And the same with Patrice O'Neal. He's offensive and funny, and it's true. Like, those three things for me are like my magical ingredients for comedy. And honestly, that's the definition of comedy. It's supposed to be a tragedy that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all based on some type of truth most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Facts.
Where do
What
you
about
see
you,
your
ladies? Do y'all have some
comedy
favorite
career
comedians?
going in like the next 5 years? Do you look forward to like getting into movies? I know most comedians go into acting, they do skits and different things. Is that something that you're interested in?
Yeah, I do skits. A lot of people hit me up to do movies. I just worked with Crystal on her skit. Thanks for calling me for that, sis.
You already know.
Yeah, and it was hilarious, and she was hilarious. It was great. It was a fun time. But a lot of people have been hitting me up to represent me, like agencies. So the sky's is the limit. Like, whatever happens, I'm excited. If nothing ever happens and I get to continue to express myself on stage, that would be great.
You
If
win
I
forever.
blow up, thank you, girl.
Yeah,
But
you
if
win
I blow
forever.
up and do movies, even better. And tour, even better.
Yes, ma'am. The
Oh,
sky's the limit.
invite us. You gotta invite us. But don't forget your friend Mango. She said she a joke, but here she is today.
You have a lot of shows lined up
Of
for when
course.
the world completely opens back up. Do you have a lot of shows lined up that you've been getting booked for?
Yeah, I have my own room. So I have a comedy show that I do every first and third Wednesdays at the Infinity Lounge off of Camp Creek. So you guys can come to that. And then as far as like getting booked, you always just get booked like randomly every week or every other week. Somebody will hit you up and be like, come do this show, come do this. So yeah.
I know that's right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You would have to come through and check you out. I definitely want to.
Yes, you have to come to my show at Infinity Lounge, because that's more where you get to see me speak more. I'm the host, but I do my jokes in between other comedians, so it's a good time.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. And we're proud of you. And that's wonderful to see a Black woman doing her thing.
Well, thank you, Gabby T.
But all jokes aside, since we have you here, Nema, you know, what do y'all think about the shootings that's been going on? You know, like all these recent things, like, man.
How you feel about the recent one with Ahmaud
Arbery?
Arbery.
That's a touchy thing. One, I think that to prevent things like this from happening, we have to start with legislation.
Excuse me.
And y'all have to excuse me. I have my what is it called?
The Invisalign?
No, it's like Invisalign. It's actually just your the thing that you have to wear after braces. Retainer. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have my retainer in my mouth. It's like hella wet. I want to just go so bad.
I know. I had to wear one too. I know how that feels.
It's horrible. But, I think we have to start with legislation. So like, another person should not feel comfortable approaching me with a weapon that could kill me, with a lethal weapon. I just don't think that's right. You're not qualified to do that. You're not, rational. Anything can be going on in your head. So I don't think citizens arrest should be allowed. So I think that's
I don't either.
To work on, right?
Who made a citizen liable to make those decisions? A citizen who went through no training, no school, no rule book, no nothing. And then the people who did go to school are still fucking it up out here.
Exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of citizens can do an arrest, but it has to be a probable cause, and you cannot pull out a weapon to kill anybody, because that's not your line of duty to do those type of things. So
right.
People play victims. They play victims in order to do fucked up shit, and that's exactly what they did. Played victims.
Yeah.
I look at it like this:
get rid of the laws that are allowing people to feel that way. So that's just me.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
But how can we get rid of those laws when you got people that's trying to make America great again?
Well, that's when you put your money where your mouth is. Start a lobbyist group. That's what lobbyists are for. It's just a group of intelligent people with an idea. And a lot of people donate their money, and then that group go to each like representative of the House or Congress and let them know this is the law that we have panned out. This is what we want. If we vote for you, this is what we want you to implement into the House to be voted on. And it's been done by house moms. So I'm not to say house moms are not intelligent, manipulative people, but it's been done by people with no professional background. So if they can do it, then we should be able to do it. Anyone should be able to do it.
Absolutely.
That's one thing I think about when this, not to make it about race, but this is just my perspective. When something happened to the children of white mothers, you will hear about it as a law. Cody's law, Austin's law, Dallas's law, not to be a stereotypical. But it's empowering. I look at those women and I'm inspired, and I hope that other mothers and the people in the Black community become inspired to produce their own laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, help writing a bill.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
You're absolutely correct.
With the other races, they always just push the issue for everything. Like it could just be a community, something in a community like speed bumps or something like that. They'll jump on it and get it handled quicker than you could imagine. But
quickly, speak on it, sis. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But we're not giving that push. We complain about it, but we're not really trying to push it. But then we are hindered from pushing it a lot too. We have it a lot harder.
I was gonna say, I feel like Black people's push, from my point of view, is so much harder. Like your rock weighs more than a lot of other people's rocks. So I feel like a lot of people give up. Like I saw people on Facebook talking about, why y'all sharing this? Nothing's gonna happen. Like this is the attitude. Well, no, because y'all shared this, now something's happening. Oh, well, bump that. They're just going to let these two white guys go. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Right.
This attitude doesn't get us anywhere. No, it's not. Like,
you
pushing.
Give up. You got to fight.
Yeah, there's going to be naysayers, but we have to remain mobilized. And I think that's what you were saying. Like, we have a harder time getting mobilized, and we have to fight so many attitudes and so many biases. But we can't let that stop us. Just like, ladies, you probably want to start your podcast, your radio show, and people were probably like, there's enough of them out there, but you just got to push past the naysayers and go for what you know.
That's right. You always got to push against a cause. It's always going to be negativity, but that means you're doing the right thing when you're having a lot of negativity coming back towards you, because people don't want to see you succeed. People don't want to see you grow. So
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. What do you think about the case with Sean though? Like, running from the cops and getting gunned down. How do you feel about that situation?
It's a Sean Reid.
I believe so.
Yes, that's the one.
So
that's the case in Indianapolis where he was running from the cops and they shot him 14 times.
That is bizarre. And I don't know much about his case, but regardless of what he did or what happened, it's in our Constitution. Every person is granted just due in law, and you can't give anyone their just due if you kill them before anything ever happens.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous. So
absolutely.
That's ridiculous. I try not to give so much of my energy to those type of things. It's like, if there's something I can do, if there's a solution that I can be behind, then I definitely want to be a part of that. But I'm not going to allow the media to rape my spirit with much negativity and violence. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. That's how social media is. You got to take it with a grain of salt. It's a lot of more negative positive. There is positive. So you got to just look past that shit.
Facts. Some of it.
But it's honestly like this type of stuff is kind of scary, because it's like, for me to not have kids and to want to bring kids into this world, it's like, it's scary. And then for you, Brittany, because I know you, happy Mother's Day to you. I know you're a mom. Nema, you don't have no kids, right?
No, I swallow all of mine.
Oh, yes!
Yes,
I know hubby about to have fun tonight.
yes, yeah.
She's about to swallow all her tongue. You a mother still, girl. You carrying them right
Yeah,
now.
you got them, baby.
Okay.
I'll
Me
drink to
too,
that.
girl.
I'll drink to that, Nema.
Ain't
I
nothing
can
wrong.
see it. I'm drinking
So
to
you
you.
swallow?
I drink to you, Nema.
Yes.
Well, what other little fun tricks do you be doing in the bedroom besides swallowing?
Girl,
Oh,
that's
Lord.
look,
Oh, Lord.
Crystal was about to say something very important.
I'm like, hold on, wait. Let's get to this conversation after this. Then we gonna get back to this conversation.
Roll it back.
But like I was saying, I don't swallow all my kids, but you know, the kids that I don't plan to swallow,
Right.
it's kind of scary to bring them up in this world because of what's going on. You
Hey,
know what I mean?
girl.
Like, I gotta.
They muted me on the podcast. They're like, it's so loud behind you.
No, but seriously, when I seen all of this, honestly, it the way I felt is I was so exhausted, and that was my comment to everything. I had one of my friends on Facebook. She thought that I hadn't seen the cases because I hadn't commented, because they're so used to me, you know, saying something on everything. Because when Trayvon died, I actually went out there in March. And
Right.
when Mike Brown died, I was actually a part of that situation. But it becomes so exhausting. Like, you see these things and it makes your spirit tired. And you just like, again. So when people, when y'all said, you know, I don't want to say anything, I can understand the other side kind of. And yes, you don't want to say anything and you don't want to see it again. And it's like, you don't want the media to take your joy. But it's almost like if you don't say something, it's almost like, are you doing your part? You know what I'm saying? Because nothing gets done. Because can you imagine, you know, they've had this video for 2 months and they purposely did nothing with it. So can you imagine, the truth of the matter is nothing would have happened had we not raised hell about it. That's just the fact of it. Had the public never said anything, these folks would not be in jail right now.
Right.
And people are just feeling some type of way because they're feeling like, okay, they're in jail now, but they just feel like they're going to get off because this is just what we used to seeing. Yeah, they're in jail now. They're going to go to trial and then they're going to go home.
Right. I agree 100% with you, Jazzy, and it's really, I can relate to everything you said, because once I'm a very vocal person about everything Black, I'm vocal about commercials. I'd be like, why was it the Black lady who had to take a bite of the chicken? Like, I look at every single thing that paints Black people in a negative light or that affects our community. But after Trayvon Martin, to me, that was just such a slap in the face. And not even just a slap in the face, it was like someone stepped on my heart. So after that, I was like, never again will I even allow them to stir up those kind of emotions in me, because it just made me go to like this dark place. So what I did this time, and this is something that I actually did, I called up my friend who's a lawyer. And I had a conversation that I just shared with you. I said, hey, what do you think about putting together a lobbyist group? And that was my way of contributing to this whole situation. It's like, let's put together a group and let's try to attack this citizens arrest law. So you do have to be active in some way. You don't always have to speak out, but you have to, like you said, Jazzy, you have to do your part. Whether it's speak out, whether it's make a social media post, whether it's march, whether it's call a friend, you know, call Congress, do something, call your representative. You have to do your part. Every part is important, but don't remain silent, like you said.
Right. That's why we are on this podcast talking about it today, because this is just the first step.
Amen.
It's gonna be a long road, and the fact of the matter is, the dad is an ex-cop. and the son worked in the DA's office, which is why nothing was done for so long. Because and two of the DAs recused themselves because they were friends with the family. So nothing got done because of those reasons. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it got sat on, and it had to be tossed around for anything to get done. And so many people called the office, and so many people raised hell, and Joe Biden commented, and it caused such a ruckus. And that's why they did something. But had we not said anything, they wouldn't be in jail right now. They still be at home chilling like they've been for 2 months.
Yeah, that's going on today. So many
they
cases
feel like to make
that.
an example.
It's just scary. Now you can't even go jogging anymore. It's like it's best to just stay in your house.
Girl, I live in an all-black neighborhood. Really, I have one neighbor, and he's black. And
but you know what? That's not fair. You know, like you should be able to go anywhere, to a park, Piedmont Park, any of them parks, and be able to feel like you're comfortable just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like play your music. You should be able to play your music. You should be able to go to the gas station with your hoodie on top of your head. If I want to wear my hoodie, I should be able to wear my hoodie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now
I can't go jogging.
Well, what you
not,
are
my
able
kids
to
can't
do,
go jogging.
you are able to carry a weapon. You are able to get registered to be a gun owner.
And
I
you
think we should take advantage of it. I have a 9mm. Started. And so that's one thing that I do encourage you to do, to feel more safe and to feel empowered to ensure that you get your rights. Like, this is your country too. So anywhere you go, you have the right to defend your person. And I encourage you to do the legal steps to do that.
I encourage them too, Nema. You have the same rights as everybody else, and you better go get you one. I have several, and you better get you several too, because you best believe they locked and loaded, and they ain't playing.
Okay. You have a gun, I have a gun. You want to ask me about my music? What's up? What is it?
What's popping?
Yeah, I do see that you were a musician. What kind of music do you do?
Who?
You do music?
I do not do no kind of music.
You don't?
Not even a little bit, girl. I am tone deaf.
What? You're tone deaf?
Completely. I can sing for you. That is the only thing my husband complained about. He will let me do anything except sing. He'd be like, listen, please, just not that.
So, baby,
so he pressed that music. So back to our question. Back to that question,
Okay.
But what Crystal was saying about the child, like, it is really scared to have a child. By me being a mother, and I'm an African-American mother, well, mixed descent, and I do have an African-American child. He is homeschooled at this point because I feel like the stuff that they put in our children's heads at school is setting them up for failure too as well. Like, it's so messed up in the school system with the things that they're, as far as like the health stuff with the transgenders and all this kind of stuff, like allowing that to be something that's a part of life. That's not how it was at the beginning. I don't agree with none of that, so I'm able to kind of like put in my child's head the right things and mold him as much as I can, do my part for him to grow up and know what the hell is going on in this world, because it's scary.
Yeah, I think you just said it all. Like, that's really the key, is educating your own child and bringing them up the way that you want them to think and feel and behave. Like, whenever I do have children, if God bless me with that honor, yes, happy Mother's Day to you. You're welcome. If I do have children, they will definitely not be in public school. I'll have them in a school that feeds their identity in a healthy way. So that's always been my main goal. And not even a private school, but my friends, they're PhDs. They have Black schools, Afrocentric schools that I trust and believe in. So you're right. That's definitely the way to go. Teach your child the way you want. And school is about to be over with anyways. That's really why they're trying this out, to see, can children learn from computer-based education? Because they're tired of babysitting our kids.
That's where everything is going, because some of the kids that are attending school, they're still doing computer homework. They're still doing homework on the computer and still doing some type of electronics and incorporating school system, because that's where the future is going anyway.
That's where they're going completely. They will not be having children in schools, but that's just better to, like you said, look for opportunities to put your child in schools that agree with your beliefs.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
That's facts.
And as far as
in my high school, I went to, I went to high school in DeKalb County. I went to a public school, and I don't know if y'all know about DeKalb County. Well, Brittany, you do. But DeKalb County at the time when I was in high school, between those years, DeKalb County in the nation was the blackest county in the nation per square mile. And so in my high school, there were 2 white people, I think, and they was black. They thought they was black. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. They was cool though. But we fought to get a African American studies class, and we got it. You know what I'm saying? And we had a teacher. She went from a social studies teacher to our African American studies teacher. Her name was Miss Doster. Shout out to Miss Doster. And she taught us. She was determined to teach us about us, and she let us know what was in those books that she had to teach you because it's a part of the curriculum. She said, y'all know that's foolishness, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's what she had to teach you. But then she taught us about us. You know what I'm saying? She said, let me teach y'all to read. Let me teach y'all where y'all came from. Let me teach you where you derived from. Let me teach you that you were kings and you were born this way. And don't buy into what they teach you. So, I don't have any kids, and I understand what y'all are saying. I do understand what y'all are saying about not wanting your kids to be molded by the people around you, but don't take it as a bad thing all the time either, because your kids need that social interaction. They need to know that people are different. They need to know how people gonna interact, because eventually they have to grow up, and what you don't want them to have is a culture shock, and you don't want them to think that people are different and are the same as them all the time. When they get but when they do get older, you need them to know that, you know what I'm saying, I am who I am, and I know who I am, and nobody can tell me different. And that's what we learn.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to teach them both sides. You know what I'm saying? What you don't want to do is have them thinking one-sided either. Like, you got to make sure you cover the whole thing. You got to make sure you cover the racist part of it, the spiritual part of it, the whole 9 yards.
Facts. And just to piggyback off of what Jazzy said, when I told you that I went to predominantly black schools before I went to college, and one thing it taught me when I went, my first time interacting with students that weren't all black was in middle school. And then later on in college. And what I learned in both of those settings were that we are some of the most naturally brilliant individuals as black people. Honestly, not to say we're more brilliant than any other group, but
you can say that.
I witnessed students who were coming from the best schools, who spoke the best English, didn't have any slang, they were just supposed to be so proper. And they would ask the same question to the professor 3 times, 4 times, still be in office hours, see them studying all day in the library, and then they're still like at the bottom of the class. And I was like, I wasn't even paying attention, and I get it. So how is it that you don't get it? And it kind of boosted my self-esteem even more, because I was like, you guys is this who's supposed to be so much better than me? Is this your king? That's how I felt when I was with them. So you're right. They have to be well-rounded. Yeah. But I think initially, because there is a resource discretion, like we're not equal in the resource distribution when it comes to public schools, that you do have to focus more on providing more of the education to kids.
Right. But that goes back to the legislation, what you said. You can fight for that. That comes down to elected officials. You can fight for those people to be in office. You can fight for what you want in your school systems. You can get that done. You know what I mean? Want taught in your schools. When you have a predominantly black school system, they shouldn't be teaching you nothing except what you should be knowing. You know what I'm saying? Why are you teaching me anything else except what you looking at?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy they're probably getting rid of school. We don't need school. Speaking of school, and shoot, have you learned some new tricks since you've been quarantined, girl? You know, and that
Girl, I'm an old cat. I do not.
Why you ain't had no kids? Because you've been swallowing them.
Definitely been swallowing all the children. No, I don't have any new tricks. My husband, he likes what he likes. It's real easy, real simple. Get him out the way so I can continue with my life.
I know that's right. That's how it is when you be in a relationship for a long time.
Yeah, like what? Doing new tricks. And he is the opposite. He's very, very romantic. He thinks every single time should be like a movie, kissing in the shower, because we have a huge shower. So he's always like, can I take a shower with you? I'm like, no, you can wait.
That shit is overrated.
You don't like taking showers with your boo?
That shit overrated.
I like my privacy, okay?
Okay, and shower sex is really not that good.
What y'all talking about?
Shower sex is not that good in my opinion.
Because the water, it messes up the lubricant, okay?
Yes, it does. Exactly. It sucks. Okay,
And then you
turn off the shower, and then you can still be up in there.
Then you're cold and wet.
Yeah, then you're cold and wet and uncomfortable.
Listen, unless you got a shower,
too many damn excuses.
unless you got a shower with a bench in it, that shit is not the move. Listen,
we have a bench, and still,
you winning?
Can we wait for me in the bed?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Or the office. We have a whole office, the kitchen, the living. We got 3 floors that we can explore on.
I know that's right.
So we can do it anywhere but the shower. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, Nema, if you got the bench right, you good. Otherwise, you got to be a balance beam queen and shit. Ain't nobody got time to be learning how to put your hand up here and your leg over here and make sure don't nobody slip and bust their face on the damn. Ain't nobody got time.
That's another thing. We've done it in the shower a few times, and when he climax, he is gonna be so mad that I'm saying this. I do not care. When he climax, he get woozy, and I'm like, nigga, wait a minute.
And the shower's not a good place for him then.
I will not go down for murder because you want to have sex in the shower. No, sex.
I know. Ain't nobody got no fucking life alert. Ain't nobody got
And see, the thing about me and my fiance is he doesn't like super hot water. I like hot water. So I'm like, look, I can't take no lukewarm shower. Like, I don't feel clean at all. I need a hot shower.
That's typical for me.
I don't think any men like hot showers. I think that's some punks. I don't think no men like no, for real. Dead ass serious. Every man I've ever talked to, met, my brothers, my friends, like none of them, they like, man, I think that's how I know y'all evil. Y'all the devil, because all y'all take burning hot ass showers. Only women can withstand that hot ass shit. Like,
yeah. You know, men are scientifically adverse to extreme temperatures because their nuts are outside of their body, so they have to protect their sperm. Too hot temperatures will kill their sperm.
Man, I don't feel clean.
Something good today.
I don't feel clean if it ain't a certain temperature, man. That shit gotta be. Man, that shit got. When I get out the shower, it look like that bitch was boiling in there.
Yeah,
like,
me too. I be having to lay under the fan sometimes. Like,
speaking of boiling, Nema, I hope you ain't burn no rice or burn no water in the kitchen. You don't left your husband.
No, everything is turned out. I'm already done with the main dish, so I just have to saute my spinach and put my carrots on. Everything else is finished.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I could take y'all in there if y'all want to go to the kitchen.
Are you gonna take us on a food tour?
Girl, I can. I sure can. Do y'all know? Y'all cook?
I cook, but I ain't cooked today.
Okay.
I cooked today. Like, where's the Mother's Day? Nigga still was in the kitchen.
Yes. Hold on.
You cook in the kitchen. What you got up in there?
Me?
Oh, me?
No, Nema. I want.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you
cooking, Brittany? I want to see what Nema cooking up.
I want to see what Brittany cooking. Brittany, what you cooking?
I got some ribs. I got some rice, some chicken, some baked beans, some pasta, some macaroni and cheese, and I baked the cake.
Okay, see, Brittany is cooking. She's a mom, so she's doing that real food. I'm just a housewife with no children. My food is like quick and easy.
Your food sound good and healthy. Shit, I need to play that spinach and them carrots.
Okay, I do not do too much. My husband is the real cook. I just cook when it's something that I want to eat.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
Cause he's from South Carolina, so sometimes his food is just too rich. It's too heavy for my little spirit.
Don't do that.
Sis, I'm trying to keep these arms, like, they've been getting a little thick. I'm trying to keep them a little
That's all right. That's all right.
So do you have any quarantine workouts?
Yes, I work out every other day, for sure. I run almost 2 to 3 miles every other day. And I lift weights. I have a gym in my basement. So, yeah, girl, I work out.
Oh, yeah.
It gets cold at night. It's all right to be thick.
It is okay to be thick, but I haven't had children yet, so.
I ain't had children yet neither.
Well, then you gotta get on my program and keep it slim and tight.
Let me tell you something, girl. I've been this way since the 5th grade. Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing going down.
It can. But when I'm just scared, I don't want to have children and then just be like, bow, 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 bow. I want it to just be like, boom.
It's not necessarily your first kid gonna do that to you, though. Most people snatch back actually after their first child. It gotta be the second and third when they get a little meat stuck
now,
to the
when
bone.
do these women have these children in their 20s? Because I'm not in my 20s, so.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. Too. Yeah, that's right.
Another discussion.
No, it depends on what you eat too, though. It depends. It's definitely what you eat. 'Cause people go for their cravings. You can't always do that.
Everybody different.
Girl,
Because Jasmine can eat the same thing and her booty gonna get bigger and mine's just good.
Let me tell you something. I accepted this ass at 10 years old. I've been wide and all outside since 10. It is what it is. Okay? I ain't worried.
Yes, Jazzy.
I want her genetics. What I gotta do and what
You gotta talk to Yolanda. Talk to Yolanda.
Okay.
Shit. My mom got a big old booty too, but I'm slim goody. I was like, damn, I don't donate a little bit.
You may be one of those like later in life patal girls. Like you may bust out later on.
Right. That's true.
My mom has been thick.
How much later?
Like 40. But my mom is like Jazzy T. My mom said she's been big breasted, big butt, legs and thighs. So she was like 10, 12 years old. And I was more athletic. I don't have no titties. This is all bra. So yeah, my mom was like you, Jazzy. She was like, girl, I've been having all of this.
Yeah, my mom, she was slim like me, but she had 4 kids. I only got 1. So
okay, see, so when you keep having some,
I'm done.
Oh, and let me be abundantly clear. Let me be abundantly clear. The Lord definitely forgot my titties, but He ain't forget none of this ass.
Okay.
He left the titties off, but He put all of it down bottom. Okay.
I can agree with you on that one. I definitely got a little rump, but I ain't got no titties, honey. But that's okay. You don't need no titties. But Brittany, why are you done? I'm curious because every woman I know, they be like, wait, or I'm finished after 1 or 2. So I'm like, why is it so bad? Why y'all don't like it?
Well, okay. In my case, I waited too long. Like my son, he's about to be 7 in August. I feel like if I had another child, I would have postpartum depression all up and down because he's now to the point where he's kind of getting his independence. He's being self-sufficient, and I just can't go back to somebody depending on me all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get a lot of stuff in my life going. I'm 30 now, so I'm like, I got a lot of shit. I'm still not where I need to be right now. So to keep on having kids, I just can't really see that in my future.
You can do it later, because I'm 30 and my mom had a baby when I was 20. And it's just me and my brother. So she just have 2 kids.
But look, Janet did it at 50, so I ain't gonna
not 50. I didn't say 50 now. I don't recommend 50.
I'm dead. If I gotta change a diaper at 50, I don't want no damn kid.
Janet got babes and shit, so she don't need to even really touch a diaper if she don't want to.
I think the younger you are, the more patience you have for kids. The older you get, the less of patience you have. It's like, look, I'm trying to.
No, young people are crazy. I think
I'm getting it because they got all the patience and shit.
Well, it depends, because grandparents, like, when we were young and how our parents was to us, when they get their grandkids, they are soft like to them kids. So I'm not gonna really. It depends. Because some of that shit goes in reverse. Like, the older people go into reverse. So they be very, very soft, nice, understanding, have more patience. And I'll be the one yelling to the top of my head.
I think you're going to have another one. You probably pregnant right now.
This quarantine ain't doing me no good either.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think you're pregnant right now.
Boom, there it is. And we're gonna wrap on that. Nema, I love your personality. We love you coming on with us, chatting with us. Definitely got to get you once the world open back up. It's safe to come outside amongst everybody, you know.
You're awesome.
Well, thank you, ladies. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me, Crystal. I had fun talking to every single one of y'all. Y'all are super intelligent. Please keep doing this. What are you guys' plans for this? Like, are you guys going to do something where you're doing it in one panel?
Yeah, we usually be in a building. We used to be in a studio.
Okay, well, please invite me back when y'all get to the studio, because y'all are a lot of fun.
For sure.
Smoke, drink, have a real good time, you know.
All of that.
all the above.